I saw a story about the first food bank that was started in Phoenix, Arizona, and I thought, gee, that's something that Raleigh and North Carolina ought to have.
The Raleigh Rescue Mission had an old van that had no power steering, no power brakes, and I went and picked up some of the first deliveries.
It wasn't easy because we had almost nothing to work with. The people that worked for the food bank, the three that worked, had a lot of ingenuity. Bernie called the weightlifting team at State, who came out here, and every weekend they would do this. The food would arrive Friday night, and Saturday morning they were here. They would unload the truck, and the truck went back.
A couple of months after I moved back, Hurricane Andrew hit. So I wrote a check, and I came out. I said, well, I have a check, but is there anything I can do to help you all out? And this was like about 10 in the morning. And somebody said, yeah, you can answer that phone over there. So I went over there and answered the phone. At 9 o'clock that night, I was still answering the phone. And 18 years later, I'm still answering the phone.
I think our relationship with WTVD really started as a result of our response to Hurricane Andrew in Florida. It kind of launched us in the public consciousness in a way that the food bank really hadn't been.
I had finished breakfast and the phone rang, and I wondered who that might be, but it was Jack, and Jack said, Ron, I understand that you've got a campaign going on at the food bank, and I have something that might be of interest to you.
I saw an article that the food bank was looking for more space. I said, Jack, that's our building. The food bank needs our building.
Kirkpatrick says, why don't you just donate the warehouse to the food bank? I said, what?
Unexpected Saturday morning call.
Just before Hurricane Floyd, the food bank started the Greenville branch, which was extraordinarily fortuitous.
And then a week or 2 weeks later, Floyd hit and flooded most of Greenville, but it didn't flood our building.
I saw a whole lot of water. I mean, water was everywhere. I went on because I figured, you know, these people have been waiting on me for so long. So I went on and got to this shelter place. They were just clapping their hands, happy to see me.
Governor Jim Hunt chaired the Breaking Bread campaign.
One of the neat things about that campaign was the people that got involved. We got Governor Jim Hunt, and he knows everybody in the state of North Carolina, and he brought on some real big hot shots. And then we got former Governor Jim Holzhauser, who brought in the Republicans. And so we had most of the political hot shots in the eastern North Carolina covered on this.
When we looked at me, a card table, and a telephone, we realized that we had to be able to pick up donations.
The largest gift of the campaign was one from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. That was $1.5 million for Kids Cafe.
The Kids Cafe program was introduced about 4 years ago. We went from being a program where children receive cookies and snacks to being able to serve them a full course hot meal.
Reese's Fine Foods came aboard several years ago, and in the last 5 years, they've donated roughly 8 million pounds of product, and we're grateful to have them as a donor.
Between Food Bank and Wal-Mart, we have trucks go right to their stores 3 times a week. We have 41 stores in our 34 county service area that we're picking up at.
When I've got 40,000 pounds of potatoes and I need somewhere for it to go, I need it to have a home, and I call Jerry and Andrew at the food bank, and they have a home for it.
The relationship with Food Line and the food bank, that whole process started about 30 years ago. We are extensively involved with the Food Line Hunger Relief Day. That's one of our proud moments of the state fair. So a lot of our associates go and volunteer to make sure that it runs smoothly and that we have a presence in our community.
People who don't even have as much come out and give, and I'm always surprised by that. Just everyone tries to do something because they really believe there's someone else who's worse off than they are.
Without Governor Hunt's Office of Volunteer Services, we would not have been able to get off the ground.
You here in Raleigh and the one in Durham make the volunteers feel important and proud to be doing this kind of work.
I've always worked in the food bank for the last couple of years, but when they started the backpack program, I feel like it really helps the kids that really need it, and it makes you feel good to do something good for the community, especially for kids.
From the beginning, John always had a philanthropic focus and a philanthropic bent. And he wanted to make sure that the employees of Cisco didn't only think about the bottom line, but they also thought about their place in the community and making the community a better place. And I attribute that fully to John Morgridge being involved in the company since 1988.
It's supported from the highest level from our CEO in the sense that giving back is very important. He himself is an example, so it kind of inspires us to give back.
When I come to work in the mornings, we have agencies standing by the dock ready for the doors to open. And it's those agencies that stand out there on that dock that respect us.
You know, I feed 180 men and 96 women, 3 meals a day, 365 days a year. I use the food bank as a resource to be able to supplement what I have to purchase for nutritious, wholesome meals for my clients.
When I come in and see a place like this, in the room that I'm sitting in, to think that there's this many people that support this organization, it makes me feel really good that it's going to last.
30 years is a heck of a marker. It speaks to the need for food banks in this country still, and unfortunately in this recession we're in, it speaks to a more pressing need than ever.
When you really do get people who've got the heart and passion, you can do anything. And I think the food bank is really a testimony to that.
Happy 30th anniversary, Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina.